Hello, everyone, and welcome back to On the Beat. I'm Stephen Bailey, as always, joined by David Wilson and Trevor Haas. Syracuse will travel to Miami on Saturday to take on a Hurricanes team that gave them a pretty good fight in the Dome this year in their first ACC matchup. Miami has kind of gone through a little bit of a slump. We saw Duke pretty much stomp them this week. Do you think this is the same Miami team that came in here? Do you think we'll see another close game, or will Syracuse kind of be able to handle them a little more easily this time?
The difference between, I think, what will happen in a Syracuse-Miami game and a Syracuse-Duke game is both teams play very well when the tempo is slowed. Syracuse, pretty much every game they've been in, at least since ACC play has started, has been a pretty low-scoring game. Just by that nature, I don't think Syracuse will be able to run Miami out of the gym like Duke did the other day. But I think Syracuse still should be able to handle Miami pretty easily. They've grown. I think they've found themselves a little bit in ACC play, and should be able to handle Miami.
And now a lot of that low scoring has correlated with Trevor Cooney's slump. If Trevor Cooney is making shots, maybe this 50 points for Syracuse is 60 or 65 points. So what do you think? Do you think that is kind of the correlation there? Cooney's missed shots are kind of part of why these games have been so close?
Yeah, I would say so. I think this is a big game for him because, Tyler Ennis has developed his shot and he's become more of a threat. And I think now that he has that threat, he can find Cooney. I think this will be a big game for him to kind of break out, ideally for him.
Yeah, it was good that Ennis, I think, asserted himself a little bit more offensively because it's kind of opened things up for C.J. Fair and Trevor Cooney. So much of the reason why he was able to get to the basket so easily at the end of the game is that you can't leave Cooney or C.J. Fair, even if Cooney's not shooting well, even if C.J.'s not having his best game. You have to keep a guy within arm's distance of them at all time because they can get their shot off pretty easily.
I think we've seen all the individual pieces of Syracuse's offense get going, but they haven't quite been there together. We even saw Rakeem Christmas had, I think, 12 points in the last game. He's shooting pretty well. This will be Syracuse's first game, knowing that Daewon Coleman is out for the season. Obviously, he hasn't started in the last 6 games. He only played for a few minutes against Virginia Tech, so they're used to playing without him. But the Syracuse Bigs have been getting in foul trouble lately. Rakeem has gotten 4 fouls in each of the last 2 games. Buys racks up fouls pretty easily. What's your take on the loss of Coleman? How big is it, and do you think it's kind of the loss that's going to might come back to bite them down the road, or something that they can kind of adjust to now to prevent that?
I think for the most part they should be able to adjust to it. There probably will be a game where Rakeem Christmas fouls out or Bike fouls out, and you got to play Jeremy Grant at center for a little bit or something like that. But other than that, I think that's really the only thing you have to worry about totally with Daewon Coleman being out. Obviously, you'd love to have his rebounding in there, but Rakeem Christmas and Bai Musakita have formed a pretty good two-headed monster in the paint for them.
Yeah, Syracuse was out-rebounded 35-24 against Pittsburgh, so I think that's the main loss. I think Daewon really clogged the paint, as you said, and I think it's just kind of a loss there, but not so much offensively. It's just more defensively, in my opinion.
Well, that goes back to how hard is it to rebound in the zone. Yeah. I mean, having that width really helps you. So what do you think? So do you have a prediction, I guess, for the Syracuse-Miami game this weekend?
I think it'll be low scoring, but I think Syracuse handles them pretty easily, something like 68-50.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think they probably win by like 15. I don't think it's as close as last time. I think that while Boeheim said that they were ready for Miami's 1-2-2 last time, some of the players said they haven't really been able to replicate it in practice. They haven't seen it live. They know what to expect this time. They know that Miami has that length. And I think the experience that Tyler Ennis has gotten since then, playing in the ACC against a team like North Carolina, other teams that pressure, is going to help him, and they'll kind of be ready for that. I don't think they'll struggle nearly as much breaking that zone.
Yeah, I think it'll still be a little bit closer than you guys do, maybe like 65-53, but definitely more lopsided than last game. I think Miami doesn't really have the offensive firepower to keep up with Syracuse. I think their defense is pretty good, but just offensively, I don't know if they have enough in the tank. So,
all right, guys, thanks for watching. Trevor will be headed down to Miami. He's leaving in about 10 minutes in a flight. Hope he gets there in time. If you're not going with him, you can watch it on CBS at 1 p.m. on Saturday. And you can follow us on Twitter at DO Sports. And after the game, be sure to check dailyorange.com for coverage. Thanks.